I love defense, so this is going to be a great session for defense. So without further ado, we want to welcome to the stage Coach Jennifer Sepielli with Defense on a String.
Appreciate it. Okay, thank you, Lewis. I'm going to get straight to the drills because these guys have to leave, and then I'll kind of talk about my background and how I got to this or where I came up with this. So we're going to get straight to the guys doing the drills. Whenever we started practice, I'm big on if that's your culture, philosophy, whatever, your kids have to feel it. So we always started with defense. So we would start with 2-on-2, closing out and ball, and being in deny. Then we'll stunt and recover. Then we'll go to 3-on-3, shell, and then out to our 5. But we started practice like that every day. So our kids really knew we stood on defense, okay? And I told the guys they're gonna be active, they're gonna bring high energy. That's another thing that I think you can't teach, but you have to re-emphasize. You don't beat energy. Like high energy, no matter if they know all their places, high energy in communicating is a plus. Let's go, talk it up. See man and ball. Man and ball, man and ball, man and ball. Good, good, good. Good, all right, hold ball. And just so, and I'm sure you understand this when you see it, the whole point of defense on a string, and I'm gonna give you the background, is to force the movement. I tell kids all the time, once the ball takes flight, it's not changing direction. So you can trust it, and you need to get to your next spot. I did always struggle throughout my career of the kids moving when the ball moves, so this is why we're here. Our next one, y'all are gonna drive hard middle, so now I want you to stunt and recover. Go. Good, recover. Good. All right, hold ball. And we usually do this again. This is all we have as far as guys, but we'll just break shell drip up in half. So we have the same action going on this side. Okay, just for transition purposes, so you have everything going. We're gonna go to 3-on-3 now. So now, who's my guys getting in? And then Lewis, this one I need passer, yep. Gabe, you're still not loud enough. I don't know if you're going at 215 if we don't hear you. Yep. And then all the way to the corner. All right, now they're gonna feel it a lot more. Do you have the other loose hoop? Yep. And like I told the guys before we got out here, I'm sure they're coached properly and their coaches already say this stuff. The ropes re-emphasize anything you are teaching. Again, I think all of us as coaches want to see our players move when the ball's on flight, okay? So get in your proper positions. You'd be 1 pass away, 2 passes away and help, right? Okay, go ahead, yep. Good, good, you're in help. See man, see ball, yep. On flight, on flight, on flight. Good. 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 Talk it up, talk it up, talk it up, talk it up. Good. Man a ball. You can't see coach. Good. Good. See man a ball, Good. Good. Coach, skip it. Good. Good. Skip. Good. All right, hold ball. And as you guys can see, as coaches at my second school, we were a little more fortunate to be able to tape our practices, but a lot of times it's just gonna be your eyes seeing, but you're gonna see if the kid's getting tugged. Those are usually the kids only moving because the bungee's making a move. So that is kids you need to work on more one-on-one on understanding to move when the ball moves. We're gonna go to 4-on-4. Yep. Gabe, I don't know what time it is. 2:14. Okay.
I got like 5 minutes.
Okay, appreciate you. All right, you getting in? Let's go. Loose one on this side. Mm-hmm. And then again, The staple of most people's practice is the shell drill. Again, these are all drills you guys already know. It's just putting the belts and the bungees, like I said, to reinforce all the things you're already teaching. Can I get 2 passers? Anyway, appreciate y'all, sorry. One more passer in the corner, appreciate you. All right, again, guys, if you can take it up a notch energy-wise and communicating. I always say, again, y'all know each other, you're your teammates. I apologize, I don't know all your names. Make it personal, communicate. When you say like, Gabe, I'm behind you, I got help. It's different when your teammates communicating with you like that. It's different when you hear someone's got your back and you hear that voice, all right? All right, let's go. Good, look ahead. See man and ball. Skip. Good. Hold real quick, because again, if the bungee's not on you, some of you aren't moving. So I'm telling you, as far as practicing good habits, it's gotta be turn and sprint. Because it's obvious you wouldn't have got there if it wasn't for the bungee. So you gotta be intentional about your movement. Like again, this assists you, but as a coach, we know who's getting to their position based on the bungee or based on you're knowing you gotta sprint there, all right? So it should be a turn. When that ball takes flight, it's not changing direction. So you should trust. Know it's going to this player, it's skipping wherever, and I know also where I'm supposed to be located on the floor. Let's go. Good. It should be a turn and sprint. Good. There you go. You're getting pulled. Good. Good. Stay wide. Good. Hold ball. We gotta let Gabe go. All right. Appreciate you. So I'm gonna give you a little background while Gabe's getting out of here. Thank you, coaches, for helping and assisting on the passing. So I've coached for 13 years. I did my first 4 years at Hillsborough Community College in Tampa, Florida, where I played, and then I transferred to University of South Florida. And then my last 9 years, I coached at IMG Academy. That's a prep school down there in Florida. So in that meantime, I was rigging it defensively. Like I always knew, like, you could yell, you can run them, you can do whatever you want as far as, wanting your kids to be in certain positions. And I finally had to take accountability that some people maybe not listening, but some people just don't understand. And some people need that teaching tool to assist in what you're trying to communicate. So I used to, back in the day, tie them together with like a rope. And they would be like, Coach Jen, my waist, because if they didn't move, it was pretty painful. And then I went to a bungee, one big long bungee again, to create the same thing defensively. And so when COVID hit, it gave me downtime where I was like, this was beneficial all the years I've been in coaching, and I know it could be beneficial for other people. So that's when I got with an attorney and the manufacturer and all of that to create it as a product. Got good friends on the Baylor side, on the men's side, so they were the first ones to have it before I launched. It was the year they won the national title, not taking credit for any of that at all. But that year is when I sent it to Alvin Brooks, who does all their defense there, and he was like, Sep, genius, send it. He said, all I talk about is staying connected, and this has them connected. Again, Joni Taylor, Kelvin Sampsonetta, University of Houston, all those guys are firm believers and backers of the product. So that's kind of, the people, but it goes from middle school up to the pros. But that's kind of my journey with it. It helps with muscle memory. It helps with foot speed. And again, I just think it re-emphasizes what you're trying to teach as a coach. I'm not here to tell you what drills to use or how to teach your defense, but I think we can all agree that you want your players moving when the ball moves. So that forces that movement. So any questions with y'all getting a chance? I know we had to be quick, but the guys, God bless them, have to get where they're going, so we appreciate them.
So by using the bungees, how do you know when it's being used incorrectly? So their movements, if it's like the strings are tight enough, or if it's too loose, does that mean they're in that position?
Okay, so I think from being effective, good question, is that if I don't see in some positions like the kid turning and sprinting, but I'm seeing this movement, I know you're being tugged, which is a lesson, right? It's good for the kid to understand, oh, this is what coach meant. Like, I know I'm not moving on the ball properly. So those things I noticed, but I went through like 2 years of testing. Like, I'm actually launched now in lacrosse, which is a whole nother dynamics because it's a field. So a lot of it took time on like, because sure, you could buy bungees anywhere, but these bungees are cut specifically for half court and the spacing in between players.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you find that by drilling this all the time, do your players then struggle to adjust based on certain opponents' personnel? If they're a really great shooter, like they just naturally maybe give too much space to that person because they're so drilled into it?
No, I didn't see that. It's like having a dog as a player. You'd rather a dog and call him off than someone who's too soft. So I'd rather the kids all move like that. And if we have to change for a scheme of a game, they can adapt to that versus, hoping that they all can move when the ball moves. It's so big about, like I said, the muscle memory. Anything you practice and that resistance, remember, I'm pulling your weight every time. So beyond this resistance, I'm also pulling your weight. So you can imagine the foot speed of your players and being able to get to positions correctly when they're training that way. Yep, absolutely. Do you have something, Coach? I know you raised your hand first.
You can't change the resistance.
No, but it's based on, really, there is resistance with it, right? But it's really based on, because some people say, well, Jen, if the pros are using it, how do I have my middle school kids? But their body weights are different than when the pros are using them. And it forces accountability amongst your players that you shouldn't be the one constantly having to hold them accountable. When you get your players to self-govern, it's a different type of feeling. And I mean that in the sense of, if I'm trying to close out and I'm connected, what's your name, Coach? Okay, so you're connected to me and you're not moving, I'm gonna turn around and be like, come on, because I'm dragging you to your next spot. So that's another thing it forces. And I heard Scott talk about, practices not being fun. And I will say it adds that element as well. Kids get tired of shell drill or whatever, but then all of a sudden the bungees come out and the belts come out. It just adds another layer to like, all right, this is cool. It's a workout. It's a workout. It's not, trust me, anybody that uses it understands it. But it also just gives a different look to defense where the basic drills are a little bit different. Kind of smoke and mirrors in that sense. Yep, yeah. How long what? I go the first 20 minutes. So those are what we do. We like I said, we stand on defense. So that's the first thing we're going to do when we come out every day. Like they know, they all put their belts on. It's easy transition and we get to it every day. I think, like I said, the more you practice something, most coaches practice so much offense, and then they wonder why their teams aren't as efficient defensively. But they don't really practice defense like that. Even zones, like I've heard people say they think they're lazy, but in all reality, if you're running them correctly, they shouldn't be. That's just how, you might be teaching it. Because there shouldn't be standing around on any defense. Yeah. Anything else? What's that?
How much time do you spend on reinforcing the behavior as far as when you're doing it wrong?
I don't know if I'm wrong. I don't know if there's a right answer. I am such a detail-oriented person when it comes to that, and it's my teams. I try to keep it quick with this stuff. But I've heard from other people. I don't know if you guys know Jay Gibbons. He's big about defense also. And he told me, Jen, let the kids go. Like if they're high energy, like there's other times to stop that. I don't like to see bad habits. So I'm big about stopping them. And I know they get tired of me, but stopping it and reinforcing like that's not it. Because I don't know when else do you do it. I get the side of the energy part, and it can be a lot of standing around and watching if you're someone who's correcting. But if you don't do it then, I don't know when you can really get through to them. So yeah, I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. I feel like, because that's how my practice plans go. Okay, we didn't get this done, it goes to tomorrow. But if we don't get this done correctly, how do you build? Yeah. I know I kind of went quickly, Coach, but I didn't, because the kids, I wanted to make sure. Yep. Anybody else? Yep.
When you play, do you have your team shoot and can you rebound when they're all connected?
No, great question. We don't. It's not live ball. People will ask that. It's not something that's going to solve everything. I used to tell people, because I know you're not being, you're asking genuine questions. Some people will like almost attack me with it. And I'm like, yeah, and cones don't go left and right, and that's our defender, you know what I mean? So it's not something that solves everything. My kids know, like we'll falsely cut, but they know not to go crazy and get injured. They'll kind of like fake cut, and I want to see, did someone get there, did someone bump them, but they understand like not to be over the top because it's not meant for that. Yeah. Anybody else? But yeah, I launched it about, like I said, a year and a half ago. I left IMG back in October because this was overwhelming, and so I'm strictly into this now and expanding to other sports. So it's been fun, and for me, I'm happy to be able to give back. I hope it assists. Yeah.
What you do at IMG again?
I coached girls basketball there for 9 years. Yep. All levels. I came in as the post-grad coach. So I did post-grad, I did varsity, and I also did the national. So all levels of it, yeah. Yeah, and just so y'all know, they have got 1 million teams on the men's side. It's a big academy, wonderful school. Yep. I did. Not the same dimension. So right, I'm into lacrosse now, and that's a lot longer, different resistance, and you're talking about covering the space of a field. Yep. But it goes into tennis, handball. Yeah, there's a lot of, and it's been the request of other people. So I've had to dig and research now other sports that wasn't, my primary sport. Yeah. And if I could say that, y'all, I was talking to your wife, go for it. Like, so you get an ideal in your spirit, go for it. I didn't know all I knew how to do was a coach. So I had to learn this whole entrepreneur thing like day by day. But the biggest thing, and that I was taught when I was younger, is seeing things through. So that's the difference of people accomplishing these type of goals or not, is just seeing it through. Nobody's an expert when they first start. I thought about when I first got into coaching, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I played, but I learned on the job of what I wanted to stand for and how I wanted to coach. Same thing I'm doing with this. So, yep. Anybody else? But I sent you guys, or I handed out you guys, that's just the instructional guide. So just different ways, using it for man-to-man and zone in our Instagram and stuff like that. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And thank you. I appreciate y'all.